Thank you for joining us at xm.com for this Forex Preview video. We'll be looking at the Bank of England policy meeting on Thursday and the outlook for the pound. I'm Cristina Marujos. Joining me today is lead investment analyst Rafi Boyadjian. Rafi, the Bank of England meets this week amid expectations of a 25 basis point rate hike. However, markets do assign some probability for a bigger 50 basis point hike, given that other major central banks around the world are more hawkish in their policy. But is this a likely scenario at Thursday's meeting?
Well, Christina, that is the big question for the Bank of England, because although they have been raising by 25 basis point increments so far, there is some speculation that they might go for 50 basis points on Thursday. And the reason for that is that inflation in the UK did jump to 9% in April. The Bank of England actually is forecasting it's going to it's going to surpass 10% over the coming months. And that's a real problem because the high inflation does hurt both businesses and consumers, and there's already signs that the UK economy is slowing. And that's the dilemma for the Bank of England right now, because growth is proving to be a lot weaker than expected. So hiking into a slowing economy risks pushing it into recession. The Bank of England did say there's a high risk of recession towards the end of the year. The OECD recently forecast that the UK economy could tip into recession as well. So it's not looking too great for the economy. The Bank of England is hoping that this weakness, mainly induced by the consumer squeeze, will do part of the job, part of its job in terms of dampening demand in the economy, so they would not have to raise rates so aggressively as other central banks. But inflation is clearly out of control. It's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And this could be the only window of opportunity for policymakers to push through a 50 basis point rate hike. And the fact that other central banks, like you mentioned, are opting for 50 basis points, this might embolden the Bank of England to go for 50 this time. So although most likely outcome is 25 basis points, there is a chance that they could go 50. But this would nevertheless go against the hints that we got at the last meeting, where they were a lot more cautious. We could even go the other way. In fact, some policymakers might vote to keep rates on hold. So it's a tough call as to what the Bank of England will do. So we shall have to wait and see.
It looks like it's going to be a very interesting meeting coming up on Thursday. But taking all of this into account, Rafi, how will the pound likely move this week?
Well, the pound is really struggling at the moment. That's mainly because of the very strong dollar. Now, not only are we getting expectations being scaled up that the Fed will raise rates even more aggressively. Of course, the Fed meets the day before the Bank of England, and there's strong speculation that the Fed will raise rates by 75 basis points. So that's what's really driving the strong US dollar. And of course, we've got all these recession fears. UK is seen most at risk of a recession from the major economies. So this is driving safe haven demand towards the dollar. So the dollar is benefiting from both the flight to safety as well as the strong hawkish Fed expectations. So the pound really doesn't stand a chance at the moment. We also have, in addition to the worries about the UK growth, UK economy, there's also Brexit tensions because the UK government wants to override parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol that was agreed in the Brexit deal with the EU. And if they go ahead with that, the EU might impose some trade sanctions against the UK. It's a pretty tough time for sterling at the moment. And it's doubtful whether a more hawkish Bank of England would do much in terms of supporting the pound, because investors will probably want to wait and see some signs that the UK economy is starting to do a little bit better, and that probably in turn would depend on lower energy prices and moderation in inflation.
I see. Rafi, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for watching this Forex Preview at xm.com.